Hmm. What do you use for digital notes cloud storage? Google Drive is what I use. Okay. Are we ready? I know nothing about this game. Just that people want me to play it. And it looks really cool. Let's jump right in.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you. And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Okay. Dialogue was really quiet.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Let me know how the audio is for y'all.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Okay. Game could be louder.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
What's down here?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
Oh. Hi. I'm exploring.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
An antler dog. Like I've got an achievement for going this way. Are there berries for us to snack on? No, no, no. This isn't about Bobo. This is about Edith.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
There's a whole ass dragon down there.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
I was playing Proteus on the weekend, and in a similar way to this, I always find it funny when you strafe while walking. Just imagining this normal person having a narrative adventure strafing around like a crab. They need to figure out a way to, like... Let me check the trash. Milton Finch went missing. Oh shit. It is kind of awkward. Can I play this with controller? Because if I can, I can be a lot more calculated with my movements. Okay, cool.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Why? Oh, you can totally look through this.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
No info, I hear you. I agree. But you also made me think, like... I don't like the way that I strafe around with the mouse, which is different from what you were talking about, but it made me think of it.
I heard something moving around in the garage.
Sketchy. I do not know. Okay, check. I think no, based on what she said about Edie.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Where do I go? Oh, wasn't there a side door? Surely a jump scare's coming.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
I love it when people hang tennis balls in their garage. It's like one of my favorite things. You have an EMF reader? I
For the
don't.
first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Because you are home. Silly goose.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Pain.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Apple pie. Are you sure this isn't Hakun's house?
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Damn, is this game going to make me cry? I didn't agree to that.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
I kind of want to live here. What's that out there?
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Why is invert? It's always who's invert and never how's invert. Okay, I can go downstairs. Barbara.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Okay, that's back to the kitchen. Can I unlock the front door?
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
This game's gonna make me fucking cry.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Yeah, you left a perfectly good tape gun.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Why you got this door sealed like that? I have to go in there now. Yeah,
After
where's
Milton
the
disappeared,
crowbar?
Mom sealed up all the bedrooms.
Hmm.
Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
The fuck?
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Barbara.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Well, damn it. Why is your mom such a buzzkill?
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Edie's father Odin built the original house.
Okay.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Damn, this family's got trauma.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
I get the sense that it was after the brother passed away.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
What's left?
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Like, do I go back out? Oh, here we go.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Leon. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, Edith is the grandma. Great-grandma. Grandma? Great-grandma? Hmm. Back upstairs? Did something happen? I didn't wait last time. No. This house has too many books. Oh my god.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
That's so cute.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. My Halloween candy was all gone.
Pain.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Molly.
I kept eating and eating.
Molly, no.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Molly. Molly, please.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
Is this Bobo?
And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Get back here.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Wait, did we see Mom and Dad? Hey, Mom and Dad. What remains of Edith Finch is the original stray?
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Whee!
Rabbits.
Where? Fucking got him.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Damn, Molly fucking eating like she's in a hot dog contest.
A mama rabbit.
Yo, what the fuck? Ash, I literally meant hot dog contest.
She was almost too big to carry. I
I
started
did not
choking,
mean it like
but I
that.
couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
That doesn't bode well. What the fuck? So we're doing drugs? Apparently.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
She did eat those berries,
I
it's
tore
true.
off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Yo, that's fucked up. Molly's kind of evil. Wait, can you fly out of the water? No.
I grabbed on tight. Oh, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Hello? Oh.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Consider this idea stolen. Take it.
I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. After the last passenger, I was still hungry.
Eat all the semen,
Across
Mr.
the water,
Mops.
I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. Me eating Doritos. Too fucking
I
real.
slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
This is a good game. Can I go out here now? Hello, kitty.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom.
Sven Finch.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
That's so cute.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Took his whole house.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Fuck.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Did I look in here before? I can't remember.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Yo, Edie, I love
The
your
only
bathroom.
trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
I fucking love it.
It was a pretty big trace.
There's a secret in this bathroom.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
A dark room. It's a fucking dark room.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Those holes and glows in the dark. No, not at all, Mira. I was
the
just
paintings on the
geeking
wall, it's
out.
clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Milton, you sneaky fucker. Oh, we're in this bedroom. The death of traditional photography? Yo, look at all that film. Gregok. This is a cool bedroom.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Could use more books. Well, it makes up for it in photos and photo materials.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Legs up.
My
Legs
brother
down.
said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore
Make control of the
he'd
legs.
never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin
fine.
always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
This is a little bit hard to
But
look
that
at.
day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
Holy shit.
I
He's
think
really
he'd
going
already
for
made
it.
up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Damn. What's that? Soaring, flying. That
After the
vine.
funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Yo, what's up, Chaimachu?
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
It flew straight to heaven. Yeah, for real. It's the caterpillar. Thanks for the follow. Welcome on in.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Okay, so that's like a shortcut. I'm about to fill my
Growing
house with
up,
a bunch of fucking
I always thought of
secret
Barbara as a child
passageways.
star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly.
Wait, I want a pin. I want a pin that says
Most unfortunate family. I'm calling it the surprise ending of Barbara Finch.
No, don't turn the page.
As a child star,
I want the one that
Barbara
says I
was
need some
famous
lovin'.
for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned.
Not Rick.
So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Not the fucking horror music.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Yo, let's go. What's up, Taj? And fuck your detergent. And fuck your Happy Clean. Your OG clean? Not my fucking taste. Big baller cleaning? Get the fuck out of here. Destructo? Get shit on. Whatever this shit is, fuck all of it.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Rick, where the fuck are you? I'm about to beat your ass.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Oh dear.
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
and she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show.
Fucking took his crutch. What the fuck?
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead,
I'm
Walter.
furious. It's a skeleton. Get his ass. Where you at, punk?
Walter, are you there?
It's gonna be Rick.
Vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And whoever he was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Amazing.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Kick his ass.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving.
That's how that broke.
Sensed the story might not be over yet.
From the top rope. Jump down on him. Damn. He's gonna be gone when we get down there. Fucking calling it.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Oh, my pizza. It arrived.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from
It's safe.
inside the house.
Oh dear.
Keep waiting.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch...
They're gonna
the
eat me.
performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time.
Pain.
He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now
The
that's
fuck?
what I call a real eerie tale.
Okay.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
C- pun, bro. Okay, so I go back out the way I came. Probably to the basement, right?
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Oh, it got dark. I saw this earlier and I was like, I wonder how that broke. Now we know. Now we know. Yeah. Let's go. Where are my crutches? I want to beat the shit out of all this random stuff down here.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
You got a flashlight for me?
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Oh shit.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Oh no, they're preppers.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
30 years locked in the basement?
You get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Excuse me.
And then one day,
I took that out forever ago,
just
K-Check. I've changed my bio like
stopped.
17 times. I'm just like constantly changing it.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Looks like it.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Oh my god. It goes deeper. More books!
I know it's out there, somewhere.
What? What's out there?
Whatever killed Barbara
Whatever killed Barbara?
and Molly and Calvin.
Who's Calvin?
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
Especially the food.
I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Holy shit. Calvin's the kid on the swing, that's right.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
So that sounds a lot like a train. This man did his dishes in the shower. That's rough. Holy shit, K-Check, you are Edith. First your dad.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Book ladder, be still my heart.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Ooh, that's rough.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this.
I do kind of believe in self-fulfilled prophecy.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
Am I being spoken to?
And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Yeah, I'm lost as fuck.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, had that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
True.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edith who designed the cemetery.
Cool. Hubnit fdick indeed.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
I fucking love this.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Let's go back.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
I don't think you should be doing this. Didn't she say she was 19?
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
"17?" I'm just trying to get the story
They were
straight.
both pretty intense.
17 and 22 weeks pregnant. There was a black and white copy of that photo in the darkroom.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Mira, I know that like young folks could get pregnant. I'm just trying to keep the story straight. Maybe they shot each color channel on a separate sheet of film. David, please.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Smile, Dawn. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Nico in his fucking element right now. I feel very seen.
Aw.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't be moving.
Are you done yet?
Does it sound like I'm done? Hey!
That's a keeper.
Damn. Let the man piss in peace.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
I'm not always gonna be here pissing on this tree.
Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
What an asshole.
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
That's a keeper.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target.
Sounds like she doesn't want to fucking use the gun. So many new tapestries.
Behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong.
Can I opt out?
Now keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready. Great shot, Dawn!
Not the fucking action shot.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Someone teach this girl about supermarkets.
Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer.
Not the selfie while she's sobbing
Dad,
and then...
it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
That is a keeper. Fuck. And that's how we get trauma, y'all. Yo, that's like puff pastry trauma. That's not like standard fare trauma. That's like, I have trauma because my dad forced me to use a gun to kill an animal, but I didn't actually kill the animal. And because my dad forced me to use a gun to kill an animal that actually didn't die when I was forced to use the gun that my dad made me use to kill the animal wasn't dead yet. And so when my dad picked up the animal that he forced me to shoot with the gun I didn't want to use, he fell off of a cliff and died because the animal I'd shot but didn't kill karma. Maybe you should have ended that sentence earlier. What was this guy's name? I already forgot. Sam. Hey Sam, maybe next time when your kid says that they don't want to do something, you should finish the sentence when you, like, after you said, you don't have to do anything. That should have been the end of it. We have to do this to survive. Dies. And yeah, it happened while we were trying to get the whole thing on fucking film. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways. I'm starting to suspect this game is a metaphor for something. Well, when you figure that out, let me know. Okay, am I meant to just go back the way I came? I wouldn't go back to this house either. Yeah, damn. Where the fuck do I go? Oh. I was dead serious, Tor. Obviously don't answer it, but like maybe after the game if I still
After
don't
Sam
get
died,
it.
my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
I didn't do the latest update, Mira. I said no because I didn't want it to fuck anything up. So, I don't know yet. Yo, Gregory. Why you got such a big mouth? Shit's creepy. What the fuck? I normally do a mash, but yeah, I got worried just because it prompted me right before I hit live.
Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone, like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Yo, my PC is running real hot.
It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. but I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Oh, let's go. We're going off the deep end, fellas.
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Damn. Does anyone in the family die of old age? Probably someone who's like, I want to die young.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. I can't imagine what it was like for her to lose 2 sons after she'd already lost 2 brothers.
Damn.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
I was wondering about Sanjay. I
My
saw
mom
that in
moved to
the...
India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
I saw Sanjay in the cemetery.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Whee! No achievement for that? Disrespectful. Oh. Mira, that's why we have phones.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Our family history, fact or fiction? It's all fact.
but it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
This is so accurate of a homeschool family classroom. That's funny. Cool.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
We are Edith. Maybe. Because Edie's the grandma. Great grandma.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
This sounds sad. What's up, Strix? There we go.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Shit gets wild in there, what the fuck? I'm starting to think that KCheck's family is actually the family that this game was based off of.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Oh, he was smoking weed up here. Oh, he was getting fucking toasted. Oh shit, we got a gamer. Look at that, WASD. Oh,
Lewis and I
fuck
spent a lot
yeah.
of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
He didn't die a lot, he just died the one time. What are you talking about? Nico just killed him again.
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. No, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
I guess we're gonna find out, Strix.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Where'd she
After
go?
that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Look at that baby photo. Oh. Damn, Evan, why do you look sad to be at Disney World? How dare you make me feel my own feelings? What a good game. Wait, did y'all see that? The Unlockables programmer programmed in an achievement if you make it to the credits that he's in. Did you find all the stories? I don't think I did. Which is truly impressive to me because it felt so linear. Yeah, I guess we'll find out, Mira. Tor, what was your theory on metaphor? Damn, look at all those people who like to cry. Yeah, I missed a bunch of people. The family curse, a metaphor for intergenerational trauma. If it's not, I mean, I think it's safe to say that this family has intergenerational trauma. Damn. Oh no. Oh no. I goofed. Did I goof? Is it gonna let me replay one I didn't find?
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
How did I miss this? No shot that popped up.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard.
Damn.
Before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I remembered.
Husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Damn.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power, but all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Damn.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Okay, and then who else did I miss? Lewis? I thought that there would be like mini stories for these leaves, like Kay, Ingeborg, and Sanjay, and Sven. No.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
How? I was so busy making a joke about being a fucking gamer that I didn't see this. God damn it.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small.
This is weird.
Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then
I'm using my
moved.
left thumbstick to navigate the map and my right thumbstick to do the
Bats.
fish.
And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
I want more fish.
But he found something more.
Ooh,
I worried
3D.
about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
He found a D&D group.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
St. Louis!
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
queerness.
Radiant rainbows.
Nope.
He followed the sound of her
Definitely a sitar.
electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
What's up, CBs?
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know.
Damn.
I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder, The palace would be packed with his companions.
Faceless companions.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown.
Oh no. The way they fucking hide it.
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
What was that about the hand, CBs?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Jesus fucking Christ.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Did we do it? Who are we missing? Okay, we got it. The end of everything. Fucking half of the achievements. Okay. Clear all the balls off the pool table. Play Calvin's story again. A free achievement? Say less. His family died like they were playing bingo.
I knew
Oh my
Grandpa Sam had a
god.
twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was my brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
This one's hard to look at.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
It's just too much movement for my eyes.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Why was Walter locked in the basement? Do we know? He locked himself. He's trying to get away from the house. Didn't he say he tried to get as far away as possible? That doesn't make any fucking sense though. Like if you're trying to get as far away as possible, then why would you just lock yourself in the basement? Like what am I missing? Do you want the answer? Yeah. Yeah. Walter specifically because he heard his sister die. He heard his sister die. Okay. So Molly, Barbara, Calvin, Sam, and Walter were all siblings? I guess that tracks based on the drawing here. Yeah, okay. I get it. I get it. I see it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, he hid under the bed and then he hid under the house. It was a good game.